Alright. Hey, how's it going, everybody? How are you guys doing? I'm doing good. Hope you guys been doing as well. So, today's going to be pretty interesting. Today's going to be the final chapter of the Chronicles of the Universe. So I hope this brings a good novel that I wrote to a good close. And also on a side note, I finished 5 weeks of P90X3. So at this point I have 8 more weeks. So 8 more weeks left and see how this changes. So again, we won't know till like literally 2 months from now, but I'm sure it's gonna be pretty cool once all the results come in. So I'm pretty excited. So with that being said, let's go ahead and read chapter 20. And the quote for this one is tenacity, consistency, and precision are the building blocks on a long road to success in life, which is pretty straightforward. So to make a quick recap, we had the huge battle in which essentially everybody died except Yanma, who was the very first alien we were introduced in the novel. And so now he's by himself traveling to the Earth. And as to what's going to happen here, well, this is what we will find out right now. So here we go. It has all come down to this. My friend Destructo is dead. Klaus was dead, and he went from being bad to turning good. Sycamore is dead, John is dead, and Ro is dead, along with all of his crew members. And for what? Their plan for Earth domination was futile the minute I and Destructo entered the scene. And what did they do when they could? They could have joined on our side and helped make Earth become a more peaceful world. They decided to turn against us, and because of this event, it cost everyone's life. Nothing beneficial came from this battle. All I have now is rotten corpses in the main hall sector of the ship, while the blood is beginning to dry into the floor. Heads everywhere isn't a pretty sight, I might add. More disturbing than whatnot. It simply was a disaster, and if only things had ended differently, then maybe we would have all had a chance at success. It was just not meant to be, I suppose. As I'm looking at my screen, I can now see we are entering the confines of the galaxy the Earthlings call the Milky Way. This only means we are getting ever so closer to Earth, closer every single day. And come to think of it, I just realized something. I used to moan and whine about how I hated the sight of watching asteroids go by and planets being their own boring selves. With what just happened now, I'd actually welcome some alone time by observing space in its natural habitat, knowing Earth is easily within distance to be reached within the day or the next the latest. I'm almost there, Earth. I can just sense it all over my body. We are getting close. What's this? It appears that something afar is coming this way. I can't tell anything at all from this distance, but from what I can see, it looks to be a spaceship. What? Another spaceship coming this way? It can't be. This has to be some sort of joke or a prank or something along those lines, This can't be happening. Now, it's coming closer. And seeing its altitude, velocity, and its frequency, it appears as if it's coming directly at my ship. Why? How interesting. The ship is getting closer, and my anxiety level is now starting to go up. What should I expect from this ship that came out of nowhere and happened to be heading in my direction? I have to prepare. It could be one of Rose or Sycamore's comrades getting revenge on me for killing their leader or something. You just never know, and here it comes now. Then like in the side note quotations, it says, as Yanma looks on, a small round ship, easily half the size of the Colossus Yanma was riding in, lands on top of the ship, and then it stays silent for a while, until noises can be heard from outside. Yanma decides to open the latch that separates the inside of the ship within the cold confines of space, and out comes this interesting creature, looking similar in structure to Yanma, and seemingly able to portray Yanma as if he knew who he was and what his intentions are. Yanma decides to properly introduce himself to the traveler in question. So here's Yanma talking to this person. Welcome, traveler of the cosmos. My name is Yanma, and I would just like to say that you look very familiar. I don't know if it's the composition you are made of, or just how you presented yourself, but something about you strikes me. If I start to sound like a lunatic, blame my deja vu delusions. And this isn't unknown traveler. Salutations, Yanma. My name is Anme, and I come from the planet you reside in. If my information is correct, you are the one that is traveling to the planet to warn the people of an imminent space attack on another planet? Yanma. Wait a minute, you come from my planet? Anme. That is correct, Yanma. And you're supposed to be what? Anme. I'm coming on behalf of permission from our government back at home that allowed me to personally go and search for you and see how much you have progressed with your journey. And for what I can see, you are doing just fine, because I can see Earth from the window in plain sight. Emma, you can see what? Emma, look for yourself. I got to say, that is one breathtaking planet to observe from the outside. Go on, look. Emma, sure, I'll look. And with Yanma's gorging eyes scanning upon the object in question, he is amazed and appalled. The miles of land were in place around the globe, surrounded by blue shades that separate all the land masses around. It was an incredible view. Yanma looked with shock and awe, thinking in the back of his mind that this was the very first time ever in his life to have seen the blue planet. And he felt quite content, it seemed, judging from his body language. He pressed his face against the window and stared at the planet he came to warn. The same planet that he had often criticized for having the humans that took advantage of everything and disregarded the environment and the millions of creatures that also shared the planet with the humans. And the same planet that the axis of evil had come to conquer. With all these thoughts in mind, he didn't bother to notice Amne as he left the scene to look around the ship at his own discretion. All of a sudden, a scream and a gasping for breath. And then Yanma, Amne? Amne? Amne, where are you? Where did you go? And then, okay, then his quotation started. As Yanma ran across the hallway after hole in the ship, he discovered Amne in a hunched position and seemed to see if he was choking on something. In reality, he was holding his chest and almost stumbled a couple of times from Yanma's view. Yanma went up to Amne, and that's when he noticed the reason why he was so shocked and surprised. Amne. What happened? What happened? Yanma. Amne, there was a battle fought on this floor not so long ago. Amne. A battle? You mean an all-out war? Because this is what it looks like. I mean, just look at all this. This is incredibly insane and hard to watch. Missing limbs, heads separated from their bodies, torsos cut, blood everywhere you look. Oh, I can't see this anymore. I need to lay down. Yanma, here, I'll help you with that. Just take it easy and relax. I know what you just saw was difficult to process, but it had to be done. It just had to be done. Yanma, why, Yanma? What exactly happened here? Yanma, well, you see, and then in the background it says, as if he is caught in a trance, Yanma begins to stare at the entire scene before his very eyes. He saw the bodies of those who were once his friends and those who were out to put him in the same position as they are now in the first place. He looked specifically at the corpse of Destructo, his best friend on their journey to Earth, Klaus, who had a change of heart and decided to fight for the goodness of freedom from tyranny, and then finally looked at Rose's body. For some odd reason, he stared at the corpse for a very long time. It was almost as if he began to feel bad for him, even though he wanted him dead as well. The fact that he hesitated as to whether to continue on with the plan of conquering the world or changing his ways to help the Earth for the better got Yanma thinking whether he really was an evil commander or just someone that was oppressed and taken advantage of to do what he did. He tried to hold himself together, but then he realized the tears were going to come out in a hurry, and so he did his best to cover his tears by turning away, although that did not stop Amne from snapping out of his temporary fright to figure out what was wrong with Yanma. He saw the watery eyes Yanma had, and Amne quickly hugged him and started to calm him down. It helped significantly, as Yanma woke in the comfort and began to feel better. Leaving the room where the body stood, Yanma and Amne began to walk towards the control room, and from what became apparent, they saw what Yanma had envisioned he would see in a very short time. Earth was there, practically staring at him in the face. They were about to enter Earth's gravitational circumference around its diameter. The ship passed by Earth's moon with little regard. Yanma. I apologize, but Earth's moon isn't very appealing to look at. At least back home we have colorful moons we can almost observe at any time during the day. But this one is just gray and lifeless, hence the boringness of it. I agree completely. I think the Earth planet has a better moons than Earth does. Yanma. I know, right? Amne. Absolutely. And then they begin to laugh. And then a background statement. And with that, they started to get closer and closer into the Earth's atmosphere, and were on the brink of touching the imaginary borderline that separated Earth's ozone layer from the outside space. Yanma began to shed a tear or two. Amne observed and decided not to question because he knew why the joyous crying was taking place. Yanma had finally arrived on Earth, And after having the adventure of a lifetime on the ship during this whole trip, he had finally reached the destination he was sent for. He then realized something and begins to think. Amne. Yanma, I remember reading somewhere how the Earth was made up of one huge landmass and not separate like they are today. And that was over time. Tectonic shifts within the Earth's core caused the landmasses to shift in direction and drift away using the water as support and travel as the masses began to form into what they are now today. Isn't that interesting, Yanma? Amne, I was wondering if I could ask you something. Amne. Sure, my fellow being that lives on the same planet that I do. What do you want to ask? Yours truly. Yanma. I think the whole warning of Earth on the invasion is now obsolete. Evidence being the scene you saw back there a while ago. The people that came to conquer and invade the Earth were in my ship, and we luckily got rid of them. And yes, I'd lost a few valuable friends, but at least we prevented them from taking over the Earth. With them out of the picture, I guess there's really no purpose to go to Earth now, other than spread the message of peace and try to change the human's lifestyle to become better people and show how much the Earth has changed since our arrival. Don't you think so, Amne? That would be a great idea, Yanma. I think helping the Earth rid itself out of this darkness and pessimism of current human society's living standards will benefit them, because we would have taught them that world peace is a good thing for them, and hopefully they will come together and embrace it and not only benefit themselves, but us as well, knowing that we were able to change our whole planet's future for the sake of the universe. Yanma, now you're speaking my language, Amne. Let me tell you, you're being a great and helpful person to me. Amne. Oh, shucks. Don't give me too much credit or I'll go mad. Haha. Yanma. But you deserve the praise. Now, seeing as we are now officially setting deep into the Earth's atmosphere, let's get ready for Earth's gravitational pull, because it's going to be one bumpy ride. Amne. Don't worry, Yanma. I'm ready for just about anything. Bring it on. Yanma. Ha! You're one funny organism. I'll give you that. Amne. Ha! Well, no one can deny my comical genius. Ha! Yanma. Yeah. Hey, what's this? I can't see anything. Amne. Oh my, it looks to me like a blanket of smoke has spread itself and covered our ship. And from the looks of it, it appears to be toxic, poisonous gas. This is coming from someone who has studied chemical structures and compounds, by the way. Yanma. You don't say. Amne. Really, I suggest that we safeguard her to higher ground before the toxic smoke tries to do anything to hamper and damage the ship. Yanma. Don't worry about it. My ship has been tested and endured from these type of situations. I completely trust my ship that it will get us to our destination, no matter how hard the environment seems to look like. Freezing, burning, it doesn't matter. My ship has a heart of steel. Amne. I like your confidence, Yanma. I'm glad. Now, let's get to ground zero and hit bottom. We should see what's the cause of all this smoke and mess. Amne. Gotcha. Then the background says, as the ship came to a complete stop as it hit the ground, Yanma and Amne began to stare at the window from their control room. Without an ounce of movement from their faces, one could tell the shock and awe these travelers were experiencing at the moment. The scenery was bleak. And nothing was moving, only the air that was thick with smoke that it was impossible to see beyond the second or third yard. From what could be seen, however, wasn't much better. The grass and trees that were visible seemed to have been covered in dark and molten ash, and had dried up to be sensitive to any outside interference, for hence would break it by any type of contact. It was deplorable, and Yanma and Amne knew something was very wrong. Amne, yes, Yanma? Something's gone horribly wrong here. Amne, I can tell. Yanma, I don't see any sign of humans living here, and as for the other animals living on this earth, there's no sign of them. Where is everybody? Amne, I don't know, but I have a bad feeling about this. Yanma, what happened here? And then in the background, at this point, Yanma's ship is flashed with a bright light coming from a dark and thick sky. It appears to be another ship in sight. Yanma and Amne see with shock and surprise as the ship, 2 times bigger than Yanma's and covered in a silver chrome that makes it shine as much as the sun in the solar system, lands next to him and comes to a complete stop. From there, a side door opens and out comes what looks to be an alien traveler as well. As the mysterious person makes his way towards Yanma's ship, both Yanma and Amne observe the person and then quickly discover that he's holding some sort of paper wrapped up in a neatly bow and tie. He knocks on the side door of the ship, and then so I hear a knocking, and Amne says, "Should we let in, Yanma?" Yanma, let's. And with this order, the doors open, and in comes the traveler from the other ship. He appears to be covered in some sort of jumpsuit, his face completely covered in some sort of mask, which is figured out later to be one that protects from the smoking gas from outside atmospheric environments. The traveler observes the two with keen interest, and then starts to open the paper so it becomes one flat piece of paper. Yanma and Anne watch with interest, and then here's the traveler speaking. Traveler. Is the owner of the ship traveler named Yanma? Yanma. Yes, that's me, but who are you? Traveler. Who's the one next to you? Yanma. Oh, he's Amne. He's just a companion on the ship with me. Now tell me, who are you? Traveler. It doesn't matter where I'm from. What matters is that I have a very important message for you, and it is for your best interest if you listen to what I'm about to say, because it will ultimately affect your life. May I proceed? Yanma. Yanma. Yes, you may. Sorry for the interruption. Traveler. It's no problem. I'll read what the paper says. To be read to the now departed Yanma. And he has like his glasses and reading. You have failed, Earth. You have failed. Earth has shriveled up in flames of gas and smoke. You were unsuccessful in your attempt to warn the Earth of the imminent invasion. You have brought brother to shame and created a blanket of shame upon the community of your planet. We are deeply angered and disappointed in you. Effective immediately, you are hereby placed on a death warrant. You are now to be killed by anyone who has a chance to do. Your life will now come to an end. It is over. Give up your life for the sake of brother, who will forever live in shame because of your failure not to save the Earth. The aliens succeeded, and you failed. You are now deemed for an imminent death. Long live brother. Damn. So then what happens? So, there you have it. You are hereby sentenced to death. I have been instructed to kill you on the spot. Your life ends now. Do you have any last words? Anne. Wait, please spare Yanma's life. Don't kill him, please. Save his life for the sake of brother. Traveler. It is too late. Yanma, are you ready for your sentence? Yanma. I'm speechless. I mean, I can't believe all this is going on. So my whole journey of trying to save the Earth was all for naught? Did I really not make it in time to warn the Earth of the invasion? I failed. I failed as a member of Brother's special bloodline of species. I have failed my people in my fatherland. I have failed as a member of this universe and as a living organism. How could I have let all the prior events before I got here affect the time of my arrival here on Earth? No. I have failed as a member of the universe and a species and an organism. I have failed. It's too late. I don't even deserve to live anymore. By all means, carry out the execution. Anne. Yanma, don't! Yanma, do it. For it has been my duty this whole existence to pledge allegiance and satisfy all requirements and rules that were delivered by brother to our people. And one of them was to always accomplish our goal for the sake of our people, and I failed in that department. It's over. It's all over. Kill me now, before I pollute the universe with my presence the more I stay alive. Traveler. You did good, Yanma, but not good enough. And then the background says, a single shot was heard, and all seemed lost at that point. The traveler put away his weapon and left the scene. Anne walked towards the body that was once full of life. It's now apparent that it is not the case no more. This was a creature that spent his whole life trying to please the planet he lived on and the deity he loved. He had really wanted to come home and accomplish and proud member of brother species for having completed the task, but all that soon went away to rot. Yanma did everything he could. In the end, however, the best he could wasn't enough, and that spelled out his doom. Earth was destroyed, Yanma was dead, and the adventure that Yanma had experienced this whole time became all for naught. No one will remember the journey that took place here, and maybe that's what it was meant to be. The end. Dang, that was it. That's the story. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Well, that wasn't cool. He died. Like, what was the point of that? Well, the point basically was that, even though he did his best to try and save the Earth from the invasion, it ended up turning out that these people weren't the ones invading the Earth. It ended up being another alien species trying to invade the Earth. Which begs the question, had they all had worked together to conquer the Earth, could they have stopped the alien invasion? Or could they have maybe had got all of them at once there and maybe had done something to save Yanma? Because again, Amnet just barely met this person. He didn't have the same personal connection that Destructo had, or that even that Rose, Sycamore, and John had. He killed them all. And you know, that's I leave that all for debate and speculation. So was this all pointless? You could say that, but the way I see it, he was able to at least live out his dream of seeing the Earth and finally be able to maybe, you know, even step down and see what it all was, even though he was all destroyed. But you have to admit, you know, he did a damn good job of doing his best to conquer the Earth. To try to save the Earth, but it was all for naught. Dang, what a story. But anyway, to bring this to a close, I just want to say thank you so much for having joined me on this good adventure. It was great while it lasted. And 20 days of reading chapters from my novel has now come to an end. And we will be doing something completely different tomorrow morning for my next vlog. And what that will be, well, I will leave it up to you guys. So, just want to say thank you very much. And for the last time, thank you so much for joining me on reading the entire book of the Chronicles of the Universe. And with that being said, hope you guys have a good Tuesday night, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you, and good night.